heard it or children say it in school. And I will just narrate that pledge and inshallah touch on each topic and tie it up again with the values or whatever lies within the pledge of the United States of America. We all say that we know this pledge, we've studied like I said, and it is totally permissible to say that I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. So inshallah we'll try and analyze each word and tie it up with Quran and Hadith. Is there any conflict with Quran and Hadith? Is it, is something within this pledge different or contrary to what Quran is teaching us? And you will see inshallah by the end that there's nothing contrary, but rather they are running parallel. And like I said, this also ties up with the general values of the American people. First we see the country of America as a very potent country, very successful country. And we ask ourselves, this is generally, why is it a successful country? Why are Muslim countries struggling? Why are they suffering? Why are they, why is there so much chaos? Why is there so much, uproar in these other countries? And we look at the country of the United States, or the people in general, not as Muslims, but the people in general. The people in general, again I say in general, taking a generalization, generally have good morals and good values. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has promised that when a person does good deeds, they will be rewarded. A person does good deeds, immaterial what religion they are, they will be rewarded. The only difference being that the reward for a believer is in this world and the akhirah, and the reward for a non-believer is in this world. So to some extent we can agree that they are being rewarded maybe in terms of the secular world. They maybe have a more comfortable lifestyle they have here. This indeed is Jannah for them. But to some extent, because of the good morals, because of the good values, because of the humanity within them, they are indeed being rewarded. So again, the reward for a believer is in this world as well as the akhirah, and the reward for a person who is not a believer indeed is in this world. So to some extent we can agree that indeed the general American population, because of the good attitude, because of the generally the good moralities, good values, they are being rewarded in this dunya. So somewhat we can see that they are somewhat successful from a secular perspective, not Islamic perspective, but a secular perspective. Thereafter within the pledge we see that the word allegiance comes, that I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States. So when we look at this word, we also have to see that in Islam there's also a set of allegiance that we have to take. We have to take this promise, and we indeed take this in Islam. So as Muslimin, yes, our allegiance lies first to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, but the same promise, the same allegiance that how the American people have towards the government, towards their citizens, that they protect their citizens, at a time of war, outbreak of violence in other countries, when the American citizens there, they say you hold an American passport, immaterial of your ethnicity, but your nationality is American, we will protect you, from in those countries of violence, they will airlift you from there, etc. So similarly in Islam we have the same concept. Allegiance to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and allegiance to protect every Muslim. That if Muslims are in pain, if they are hurting somewhere, they're in trouble, we as Muslims should come together. Sad to say this is not the case, but this is how we should be, that the same allegiance that people have in the United States towards their citizens, towards their people, we should also have the same allegiance to our Muslim people, immaterial of their ethnicity or what background they are from, what occupation, what gender. We should have that same allegiance to our people as Muslimin. Then indeed we say we take allegiance to the flag. The flag is just a symbol. It's a matter of stars and stripes, that there are certain stars and the stripes for whatever reason. In Islam we also have a flag, it's kind of a virtual flag, the flag of Islam, the flag of Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah wa ashhadu anna Muhammadan abduhu rasuluh. Similarly, we should have allegiance to that flag. It is only a symbol, but we should be able to uphold that symbol. We should have the same loyalties that how, as an American citizen, we have loyalties to the stars and stripes and the Star-Spangled Banner that you hear them singing in different occasions. Similarly, we should have that loyalty towards the flag, the alam of Islam, the Jannah of Islam. We know the stories about when the flag of Islam was used in battles. There were particularly Ja'far ibn Abi Talib, it is mentioned in one of the battles when he had the flag in one hand, and it was the procedure that if they were ever defeated, then the flag would go from one individual to another. We know the story that his one hand was cut off, and then he takes his flag in his left hand, and when he's cut off from his left hand, the second Sahaba takes the flag, but they always upheld the flag because it symbolized something. It was not about winning or losing, but it symbolized the victory, and it symbolized the unity of Islam. So similarly, we should have the same allegiance as Muslims, not only to the flag of Islam, to the Jannah of Islam, the alam of Islam, because it's like I said, it symbolizes something. And then as Muslims, we should stand united. The same thing in America, like I said in this page where it says, we stand together, we are united. Similarly in Islam, وَاعْتَصِمُوا بِحَبْلِ اللَّهِ جَمِيعًا وَلَا تَفَرَّقُوا. That Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says that hold on to the rope of Islam. Hold on to this rope of Quran and Hadith. And the reason we hold on to this is to unite ourselves, to bring ourselves together. So again, the same models exist whether we're an American or whether we are Muslim. The same way that we protect American citizens when they're in need, when they're in help. Similarly, Muslim citizens, anywhere they are, as Muslims, we should be able to protect them. We should be able to unite with them. If like an American citizen feels pain, similarly, if a Muslim feels pain, we should feel the same pain. Because we are, again, like I said, they're inseparable. You cannot only be one or the other. We have to be both of them combined. Allah Ta'ala says in the Quran, كَانَ النَّاسُ أُمَّةً وَاحِدًا. Then indeed you are one ummah, you are one nation. So as Muslims or Americans, we should be united on when it comes to coming together on whatever topic it is. As Muslims, we should be united. As long as we say the kalima La ilaha illallah Muhammadur Rasulullah, just as we are united as American citizens, we should be united as Muslims. Does not matter what the topic may be, and the reason I just touched a little bit on this topic is indeed in the coming months, when the time of Ramadan comes and Eid comes, we always have this age-old controversy. To some extent, it has been resolved. There has been some resolution, but still sometimes we have this issue. But at that moment, at that time, let's look what Quran and Hadith says, what the Sunnah says. Let's look at our urf, let's look at our society, let's look at what the samaj is, let's look at our environment, and indeed we take the best decision. So again, I'm touching very lightly on the topic. It's not the topic of discussion this evening. But when that time comes, let's think about it. Let's talk about, let's think about that unity. And again, I'm not saying only about talking about unity only and neglecting Quran and Sunnah. We take that into account. We take environment into account, our urf. We take our samaj into account. And then after we make ruju, ultimately we'll make ruju to the imam, the shuyukh, the leaders of the community. We'll make ruju to them. We will turn to them. Whatever decision, inshallah, they make, we will go with that. Like I said, we're touching very lightly, but this again falls within the context of being an American and being an American citizen. Further, the most important part in the pledge where it says under God. This is the most important. That even though, at least on our part, we believe this, the American, the person who does not believe in Allah and Allah's Rasul, to commit kufr and shirk, but at least they hold on to the model of having one God. They somewhat hold on to having tawheed, believing in one Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That is between them and Allah. On our part, undoubtedly, we know there is only one Allah. We know there is only one God. We believe in tawheed. There is not an atom of doubt we have within us. So if we have this indeed in our hearts, we have this in our mind, we should be very strong Muslims. Not only strong Muslims, we should be very strong American Muslims or Muslim Americans. We shouldn't, whether back and forth, and question our faith. We should be proud about our faith. We say we are under God. We have this taqwa. We have this, God-fearing. We fear Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We fear with regards to what we do, the rights and the wrongs. And that's how it brings accountability into play. That when we do something, like for example, we know the laws of the country, we don't break the laws. We know, for example, we are not allowed to park here. If you park here, we'll get a traffic citation, violation. We will not park there. We have taqwa, even though there is no, traffic officer, there's no policeman standing close by, we will not park there. Because this is the rule, this is the law of the land. We observe this, we respect this. So similarly, that same accountability that we know that Allah, we are one nation under God, Allah is watching us. We should have the same accountability when we are dealing with our other activities, in our masjid, in our families. We should have the same accountability, when we are dealing with masjid affairs, when we are dealing with the affairs in the community, that we should think about the fact that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is watching us. Another aspect with regard to the pledge, the word indivisible. Now indeed, only Allah knows the reality of that. But even though they say this, that we are indivisible, the Americans believe they are indivisible because of the unity they have. So we as Muslims, we are all the more, we should never be indivisible, we should not be divided. And we can never be divided if we indeed stand on the same platform and agree on the same aspect. And we have nothing to argue about, we have nothing to have differences about, because we're following the same Quran, the same Sunnah. So the strength of conviction in the American people with regards to being indivisible, we should have that same conviction, the strength of our conviction should be the same. Just like the Sahaba radiallahu anhum, whether they came from Makkah, whether they came from Medina, whether they were from Egypt or the neighboring countries they became Sahaba, they were close to Prophet ﷺ, they had the same conviction, the strength of the conviction with regard to be indivisible, that no one could destroy them. Why? Because they were united. They stood together. Similarly,